Hello everyone. Welcome to today's session on audio and accessibility testing essentials. My name is Shreya Rao and I'm a solutions engineer at HeadSpin. I'll be walking you through the key components of how we ensure exceptional audio quality and access across multiple digital platforms. I wanted to switch on the video, but the only thing is my bandwidth is not allowing me today, right? So before we dive in, here's a bit about me. As a solutions engineer on the pre-sales team, I'm all about making sure that our clients' testing needs are met seamlessly with HeadSpin platform, especially when it comes to performance testing. My day-to-day revolves around engaging with customers through product demos and driving impactful proof of concepts. I also work hand in hand with the sales team to ensure a smooth journey from a probable prospect to a happy customer. So here's what we'll be covering today in the session. So I'll give a brief overview of Headspin. We will explore about audio testing and its importance. Then I'll take you through common industry use cases which are followed, following to which we will dive into accessibility testing, focusing on talkback feature for differently abled users. Lastly, we'll go through a demo and review some insights from the Headspin platform. Then we'll take up questions from the audience. Okay. So you can post your questions in the Q&A. All right. So let's talk about what makes Headspin special. Okay. So Headspin is a digital experience AI platform. It's not just that. We have got real iOS and Android devices sitting in real locations all around the globe. So if you see on the slide, first up is our global device infrastructure, right? So we are currently in over 60 plus countries and 100 plus locations. Pretty cool, right? And here's the best part. These are real devices with real SIM cards, no routing, no jailbreaking, and you don't even need any SDK to access these devices. So you have to just pick the device you need and you're good to go, right? Now, let's talk about automation. So, Headspin is built for it. So, whether you are using open source frameworks like Appium, Selenium, Espresso, XCTest, and even no code, low code solutions like Tosca, LeapWork, etc., we support them all. Plus, we have got APIs built into the platform to make sure that everything integrates smoothly. Right? Now, here's where Headspin really shines. That is its performance metrics. Now we don't like we can run tests and capture performance data on everything, like from high level user experience to all the way down to the tiny details like method level and packet level data, etc. So it's basically like you're having a microscope for your app's performance. Okay. Now, once we have gathered all the performance data, Headspin helps you to visualize it. So you can create beautiful customizable dashboards that make the data easy to understand. So you can set up thresholds for your KPIs and even get alerts sent to your Slack or email when something goes off track. So it's like you're always in the loop. So that's about Headspin in a nutshell. But don't worry, we'll be going into more detail in the demo and I'll show you how it works in real time. Now, moving on to the next slide. Just help you take a quick look at how our data centers are set up. Now, in our data centers, we have got these hardware setups called P-box, which stands for proxy box or a phone box. So what happens is we have a custom Linux server connected to a USB hub. And then we plug all these devices in a tray. And this tray goes into the box. And once that's done, everything is controlled remotely through a web-based UI. So on the deck, if you see on the right-hand side, this is the remote control UI which I'm talking. Now, just below the P box, you'll see something called as AV box. So this is where things get really interesting for audio and video testing. Now, here's how it works. You have got a device under test. This could be anything like a smart speaker to a mobile phone or even an OTT streaming device. Then you have a supporting device which is placed just in front of it. So the supporting device has a high resolution camera that captures the video, while the microphone and Bluetooth are used to record the audio. So this is super useful when it comes to testing DR, protected video content, and audio quality, which is a big deal. Make sure, right, that audio visual performance is top notch. Correct. Now, speaking of audio, we have got a unique solution for that as well. So Xpin uses proprietary Bluetooth hardware called HSPT. Now that lets us stream audio directly from your device browser. What does that mean? So you can actually listen to and record the audio remotely. This makes it way easier to ensure that your audio is crystal clear. Now, some of the deployment models Xpin helps you to set up. So one is like a on-prem setup. So here what we do is where you can host the entire P box at your own location, or like P box or an AV box at your own location, and you can manage it yourself. Then there's also a cloud setup where we take care of the box for you. So all you have to do is just focus on testing and we will handle the rest. Right. So that's the hardware side of things and how Headspin works at a high level. We've got all this infra in place to make sure that you can test just about anything, anywhere, and ensure that it performs the way it is supposed. Coming on to what today's webinar is about. So let's dive into one of the most critical parts of digital experience, that is audio quality testing, right? So we'll be covering out all the points in this deck one by one. Now, the first, what exactly is audio quality testing, right? Well, if I say it's all about making sure that the audio in your app, whether it's a voice call, a streaming video, or a smart assistant, it is clear and reliable. So it's like the difference between talking to someone over a crystal clear phone line versus talking to someone through a tin can and a string, right? Now, why do we need, like, what's the use? What's the whole goal here, right? So it's pretty simple. It is to identify and fix issues like delays, poor connections, or distortions before they can frustrate your users. So, whether it's buffering audio, dropped calls, or Siri not responding to your commands, we want to catch these issues as early as possible so that your users don't have to do that for you. Right? Now, it isn't limited to just phone calls, right? The scope of audio quality testing includes everything, like everything from voice calls to streaming media and smart assistants, etc. So whether it's someone watching, like binge watching their favorite show, or using a voice assistant to control their smart home, we are making sure that that like this sound is smooth, like completely smooth. Right? Now, why are we so concerned about audio quality testing, the goal of it, the entire scope, the issues which we are facing? So, at the end of the day, if I say it's all about user experience, right? So, the goal is clear, it's uninterrupted communications. So, you don't want moments like, can you hear me now? Or like, am I audible? Things like that. So, whether it's a phone call, a song, or a voice command, the sound needs to be clear and free of interruptions, right? Now, it's like to maintain this kind of experience, it is not that simple. It's not always smooth sailing, right? We have got to deal with things like packet losses, latencies, some kind of delays or jitters, right? These are the like common culprits, if I say, common culprits that can cause your audio to glitch or buffer or just go silent, right? Now, let's be honest, no one likes when the sound suddenly drops out in the middle of a conversation or when they're playing their favorite song. Right? Now, why are we so concerned? Why are we so concerned about user experience, all the challenges, all the issues? Why do we want to repair all the issues, everything, right? So here's where things get really important from a business perspective. Right? So clear, reliable audio doesn't just keep users happy, it actually helps them keep coming back. So when your app or service works as expected, users are more likely to stick around. Okay? That means there's higher retention of customers, low churn rates, right? But on the flip side, if poor audio quality can drive users away. So that's the big picture of audio quality testing, making sure that your app delivers crystal clear sound, which keeps your users happy. And ultimately, this will boost your business. Now, let's talk about some of the unique capabilities which Headspin has to offer. Okay. So, first up is the audio recording. So, with Headspin, you can record and analyze audio in real time using deep analytics and AI models. And it's not just about recording, it's about aligning that audio with everything else happening during the test. Now, picture this. So, if I show you this, right? Now, picture this, you have got a timeline, and on that timeline, you see the audio right alongside the screen recording. You get a complete view of how the app is behaving, and you can dig into audio metrics like volume, stereo versus mono, and many more. So it's like having a backstage pass to your app's performance. So this is what we do. We give you issue cards, we give you different audio related KPIs, you get the entire execution at one place. Now, coming on to the second solution, we have got audio match analysis. Now, how does this work? So, you can upload a reference audio clip via Headspin's audio API and then match it with specific points in your test session. So, Headspin can automatically check and make sure that an alert plays within a certain time frame. It can even detect where the audio was injected and recorded, so you can be sure everything is playing out as expected. So if I show you how does this look like, so if you see here on the timeline, which says audio volume, so until and unless the audio was played, you won't see these waves. When the audio is played, then only these waves come up. You can also see on the bottom the audio inject bar. So that is somewhere which will tell something which will tell you that this part was where the audio was injected. Now, when you look at the green bars here, so in this one is the reference video and reference audio, and the other one is the headspin audio, like which you're getting from your execution. So when both of these matches, that is when it tells you that your test is working fine. Right? So this was all about audio recording and match analysis. Now moving on, we have got audio issue cards as well. So it's like having a personal audio quality monitor. Now, what these issue cards do, these issue cards will pop up automatically based on ITU standards. So in simple terms, it will help you figure out if your audio is too quiet, too loud, or just about right. So you don't want your users having to adjust their volumes all the time, right? So with these cards, you'll know how your app's audio compares to the industry standard, and you can ensure that it's delivering a smooth, balanced experience. See if I show you how these issue cards look like. So this is how they look like. So you can get if the audio volume is exceeding that particular range, the compatible range, right? So you will get issue cards like audio too loud, or if in the video the audio is mute, you can get issue cards like audio is too quiet or audio is not detected. So this is where the audio issue cards play an important role. Lastly, we have got real-time audio playback and microphone quality testing. Now, this is where Headspin really steps in to save the day, right? Now, using advanced data science and robust AV platform, which I showed you earlier, remember? So, with the AV platform and data science capabilities, you can listen to and evaluate the audio in real time. So any hiccups, any distortions or muffled sounds, you can catch them immediately and fix them before they become a problem for your users. You even have the ability to interact with the audio interface using Headspin's extensive audio API. So whether you need to stream audio to your browser, test the clarity of the microphone, or evaluate the Bluetooth performance, Headspin has got you covered. So with these four tools which we just talked about, so you are in full control of your app's audio quality. It's all about making sure that users have, if I say, the best experience possible with audio that's clear, consistent, and exactly how it's meant to be heard. Right. So this was about it in audio testing solutions. Moving on to the next slide. Now let's take a look at some of the key use cases for audio testing, which Headspin helps you with. So these are all the real world scenario where our platform really makes an impact. Right. So first up, we have the audio video playback optimization. So with Headspin, we ensure that the playback is smooth and error-free across different devices and networks. So think about all the streaming platforms out there. Having clear, uninterrupted audio and video is absolutely essential for all users to be happily engaged with the platform, right? So next, if we focus on the phone call quality enhancement, right? So whether it's a VoIP or a regular telecom service call, so Headspin monitors call issues like latency, packet loss, etc. And these are the common culprits to mess up the call quality, and our platform helps you to ensure smooth communication. Now, moving on to voice notes clarity. So, if you have seen in today's world, like messaging apps are becoming very popular day by day, and many of them use voice notes. Right? So, Headspin helps optimize the clarity and deliver all these notes. Right? So, making sure that your user's message comes across clearly, because no one wants, like, truly speaking, no one wants to listen to a garbled voice memo, right? And finally, coming on to the last use case, we have smart assistant accuracy. So, voice activated assistants like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant are becoming very common in all the households, right? So, Headspin helps you to ensure that these assistants respond accurately and quickly. So, this is key for improving interactions with smart devices and ensuring that they understand and execute commands just the way the user has intended to. So now, whether it's ensuring smooth playback, clear phone calls, or precise voice notes, or smart assistant accuracy, Headspin's audio testing solutions have you covered in all the way that matters. Moving on to the next slide. This is where, like, the second segment of our webinar. Right? So let's talk about accessibility testing, something that's key to make sure that our digital products can be used by everyone. So if I talk about the very important question, like what exactly is accessibility testing? So in simple terms, if I explain, accessibility testing is making sure that people with disabilities, whether it's visual, hearing, anything, they can use your app or website just as easily as anyone else. So this involves like checking things like screen readers, voice control, and keyboard navigation to ensuring that your product works across all devices for everyone. Now, next up is like, why do we need this? Like, why is this so important? So, well, it's all about making your product inclusive. It ensures that everyone, regardless of their abilities, can access your app. Plus, it helps you meet legal requirements, which are essential for compliance, right? And on top of that, it improves the overall user experience and helps expand your audience by making your product usable for more people. So, if I summarize, right? So, accessibility testing isn't just about ticking a box. It's about ensuring that your app is usable and welcoming to everyone, which ultimately leads to better engagement and a wider audience. Now, let's quickly move on to the audio related accessibility testing with Headspin, right? So, this is all about making sure that your audio features work for everyone, all the users, even users with disabilities, right? Now, if I just reiterate what exactly is, why do we want accessibility testing? We just want to make sure that everyone, including users with disabilities, can interact with your app without any issues, right? Now, this is where the talkback feature comes in. So, talkback is especially important for visually impaired users. It provides voice feedback, helping them navigate to different screens. Ensuring that TalkBack works properly on all devices guarantees seamless interaction with your app or website, no matter what the user's needs are. Right? And of course, like even in this, there are a few challenges. These includes like inconsistent behavior across devices. There could be some variations in audio output quality, right? And ensuring compatibility with various screen readers or assistive technologies. These might be some of the challenges. But that's where Headspin comes in, right? Especially helping you to identify and fix these issues before they affect the user experience. Now, if I tell you a real-time example where Headspin supported one of our customers, where it was a banking app, where we successfully implemented TalkBack with Headspin support. Now, this improved accessibility for visually impaired by providing them consistent and clear audio feedback across all devices. Now, if I say what was the result, so it was a smoother, more accessible experience for everyone. So with Headspin, if I say, we are making sure that audio accessibility is a priority. So your app can be inclusive and accessible to everyone. Now, let's go to the demo and insights from session boards, right? Now, this is how the UI just so this is how the UI looks like. The platform is about when you plug the device to the P box. This remote UI comes up on the screen. So on the right hand side, you can see your and the kind of access you possess and these orgs you have access to. Now, moving on, as I also said that we have global device infrastructure, right? If you remember. So here in the devices section, if you see, there are a lot of flags. So we are present in multiple countries. As we said, if I reiterate, it's 60 plus countries and 100 plus locations where you can see all of them. And the host section, this is where our data centers are located at, like in multiple, since it's a sandbox. So we have few hosts here because we have fewer devices in our sandbox. Now, coming on, if you want to start any of the devices, right, you just either need to click on the start option, or if you're into an RPM session and even edit the RPM capabilities and get the details of any of the device. If you scroll to your right, you can see all the devices, the device details like the host name, carrier, if it has a real SIM card to it. So you can see the carrier name here and even the version as well. And also the host, right? Now, moving on, I'll be showing you the manual ones today and probably in the next subsequent webinars, which I'll hold and that I can cover of the automation related, how do we do it, how we use the audio API, what are the changes which you need to really make to your automation, can cover a lot of that in the next session. Right? So we can have this. Now, moving on to start a device, started two devices at the same time. And when you see it, two devices, one iOS device at US location, right? It's a Pro Max, and the other one is a Samsung device. You can see both iOS and Android at the same time. Them are connected to a carrier. You have number, then overview, APM inspector, complete overview, price, and you connect to the remote, which is basically like if you want your local system, it's like it's connected to a USB cable, so you can do that as well. You can connect to your internal network. So let's say if your VPN or like internal network, use the tunnel feature. Now moving on, tools section, we provided few of the shorts as well. And in the app, you can install, like say, you don't want to install an app which is in the production, like from the apps store. Then you can, if you have a .api or IPA with you, you can also install it to your device. In your scripts, even though we are not covering automation today, give you about this. So the only thing scripts which you need to is just change the WebDriver URL. WebDriver URL is basically to connect to the specific device. Like capabilities, you can select the desired capability which you want. So it will be device specific, app specific deals, just so that it can pick device to connect. Right? And once these are in place, you can run any of your on this device. You can also take shots, get the logs, and you can interact with hardware keys. Let's say reboot this device volume, increase the volume, all that from the UI. And for test cases, we have a powerful thing which is called remote. Right? So for you this, you will get a QR code. So if it's QR code, you will get this cloud device mirrored onto your own device. And if you perform any actions on your device, these the action would be replicated or reflected on the cloud itself. This was all about the what you see information can you get from the device, right? Both are have a similar capabilities, just a little bit changes in the tab. If you look at the tab here, now we if you look at the first one, it's basically you can remote directly from this is something that you can start to get insight. I told you earlier, like with HeadSpin, you can get insights of AI and ML engine. You can get the issues which you are facing, etc. Like all the network details, all the data would be you'll be getting from the performance session report. Now, next comes up. This is what is related to the audio testing part. So we were talking about the Bluetooth audio and the microphone which are connected, right? So this is where you can start a speaker and you can start a microphone directly from here. So when both of these start, you will see that it starts to recognize them, right? So if you see the waves forming that that it's picking up. Now moving on, let's try out one or two of the use, right? So you can see the art of possibility with HeadSpin platform. Now we pick up a simple phone call. You want to call from one number. I have this already here. Just call this number. Realize when I pick this up, if I speak something, it would like you can listen to it from the speaker. And my voice is a bit low so that you can. Okay, I'll pick this up. So this is what is BT I was talking about. So for iOS, you need to connect with the yeah. And I guess you are able to hear my voice. I'll stop this session and close the call, right? So that I can talk. So moving on, this how you can or phone call kind of scenarios, right? You can if like if there's site, is your phone device capable of removing the noise around or things like so if you're calling a different number, all the kinds of phone call related use cases, you can do it from here. Now, option. So if you can record on any of the sessions. So I have already recorded one of the sessions similar to this one which we executed, right? So you can record a session either with or without network. So I've done it without network because right now I don't think the network details are needed. So you usually require network details when you are using any of the applications, right? Now you will see the entire performance session report, right? So you can see what all information you can get from a single performance report. You can see the entire video recording, right? And the complete details where the test was executed and all the things. So here you will see the video would load up. So on the side, you can see the entire video recording. So if I play this, it will take you through the entire journey which I performed for a phone call. On the left hand side, you can see which phone or which device was this test executed on, what date, what time. You can download multiple files as well. Just stop this. So you can download multiple files as well. So you can download the video recording file, the device logs from this location, and even Harmar CSV. If you need packet level details, you can download the PCAP file, etc. And if you scroll down, these are the KPIs which we capture. So here you will see the video, the audio related KPIs which we can capture here. Right. So this was a small test which I did, right? So you won't find a lot of insights in this one, but I do have one detailed session report and IVR. So what I'll do is today I'll just brief you about what we did in the IVR test and how what all insights we got. And probably in the next session, we can create a script around it, see how this works, etc. So here in the IVR test, what user journey we followed was we started by opening up one of, I'll just show. This is where if you hover on this, you will see the changes at every time. Right? So here what we are doing is we are opening up the dialer app of the device, right? And then we dial the Samsung's customer care or the customer number, like the toll free number, right? And then the prompt comes up. So it says there's a particular audio which comes up, and then you have to choose like you have to do the selections, right? So we have picked up that audio, the starting audio, and then we choose selections like we are there are promotions. So either you can listen to the promotions or skip it. So we are skipping that promotion part, right? And the next is you can prefer the language. So by pressing a certain number, you can prefer the language, and then we can go back to the older menu. So with when you click on the older menu option, so the same audio which was there at the start, you can hear the same audio. So what we are doing is we are doing an audio quality match analysis here. So if you scroll down, okay, this is the water. So this is where the first audio is. So if you see at the bottom, this is the transcribing audio has been marked, right? So this is where audio has started, right? The initial audio. Now, the part uh, in between the blue label and the green label is the part where we are choosing the different options, like see it in the right. We are choosing number two, 0, and 1, etc. And once we choose 1, that's the part where the initial audio starts coming. So it has turned green because the audio has matched with the first audio, like the initial audio. So with this, we can do the like with this we can validate the IVR calls as well. Right. So here you get a lot of insights. Apart from this, the AIML engines work to give you probable issues which could be there in the entire session. So you can get issue cards like loading animation, low page content, and things like that. So even if it is something related to audio, you can get those as well. Okay. Now, if I choose this audio, you will see at this particular location, there was some kind of animation happening. You can see there are things changing. It is base changing. So the AI engines, auto- so this is how the insights which we get from HeadSpin, right? We can get more, we can talk about more related works and all those things in probably in our subsequent sessions, right? So with this, we have come to the end of the session. I'll be happy to take any questions. I guess we do have some. Right. Okay. Okay. Someone says I missed the first part. How is the audio recorded in the P box? Okay. So I'll just take you now. If I say, I'll just take you through this one. Right. So what is done is like the devices are connected to a server, right? A custom Linux server, if I have to be precise, and that Linux server is connected to a USB hub. So when this USB hub, in that USB particular hub, these devices are kept in a tray, and that tray goes into the P box. So this is how we are connected. We are connecting the devices to the P box. Right. Now coming on to the next question. Yes. How are you evaluating phone call metrics? Can those be applied to other mobile applications, non-phone calls, such as web RTC voice communication? Yes, we can definitely do that. I think I'll be requiring more details on particular use cases. Then I guess we can definitely do that as well. Right. So the next one is can we can we compare the two audios and see if they are same or different? If yes, how can we do it on your platform? Right. So you can definitely do that. I mentioned about the audio match analysis, right? So that is done basically with the help of HeadSpin's API. So you can use those and you can use those particular APIs and you can do that. I think there are a lot of questions coming up. So okay, cool. How do we help telecom customers? Right. So how do we help telecom customers ensuring consistent audio quality across different network conditions, right? So telecom companies use tools like network emulators to simulate various network conditions such as high latency and everything. So by testing under these controlled conditions, they can ensure that the audio quality remains consistent and acceptable. And if I talk about our platform, so they like the telecom companies usually throttle the network, so they want to test out across Wi-Fi networks, and even they want to try it out by changing different kinds of network like 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, etc. Right, so you can do that as well on our platform. So that's how we are helping telecom customers. Okay, cool. So how do is there like a I think there are only two open questions. Okay. So can we do load testing by simulating the users with the help of JMeter to test how a telco app behaves in high traffic situations? Yes, you can definitely do that. So we very well integrate with we very well integrate with JMeter and load runner, right? With this will help you to test out applications so you can simulate multiple concurrent users, not at the same time though, like one after the other, because these are real devices. So at one time, only one user can access the device, right? So one after the another, you can see how the application is performing. Okay. Now coming on to the last question, are the KPIs different when it comes to Android and iOS testing? Yes, some are different, right? But not most of them, right? We do capture 130 plus KPIs. So we have a list of it. If you're interested in Headspin, we can definitely connect and talk about all the KPIs and details. Cool. I think we are done with all the questions. I'll just wait for a while if there are any other questions. Okay, so if the questions come up, meanwhile, You can connect with me via LinkedIn. So I have provided my link here, right? You can connect with me and we can definitely talk more on Headspin. And if you want to talk about anything specific, we can definitely connect and discuss. Right? So with this, we come to the end of the webinar, and probably in the subsequent webinars, we'll talk more on automation. How can we automate talkback feature, or how can we automate regular phone calls, or even IVR? So I guess with this, we'll meet soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session.